Ah, good morning. It is a beautiful day today, and the sun rose again, which I'm pretty happy about. That's the promise, right? What a long dark night it was, right? So last night was the longest night of the year. I just saw the glimmers. The sun is just rising here. It hasn't risen yet. And we're still here because this is the promise. The promise is that the cycles will always continue. The promise is change. The promise is the sun rising again. The promise is that the darkness will come too, and that the darkness is a comforting embrace. The darkness is graceful. The darkness is sweetness. You know, the darkness is the peace and the rest of the times in between the jumping up and getting things done. You know, there was a time in my life when I did not sit down. Before I had my son, I did not sit down. I collapsed, but I did not sit down. A very big difference between the two. You know, it's like reminds me of rooting an elk. An elk will keep going. An elk that feels threatened, that has to run, can run for days, literally, like 4 days. It can run until it dies. It can run until it collapses. And I have some of that was taught to me, described to me, in the understanding of influence the elk, the representation the elk has in my life and myself, because I'm a long distance. You know, I've said this before, I'm like a long thinker, eyes on the prize person. You know, I make long plans, long considerations. Yeah. And so, collapsing. I like to thank the world right now. I like to thank reality because we made it through the night. Whew. I watched the sunrise at Stonehenge because I woke up in the middle of the night. And yeah, I know that I knew the sun was going to rise again, but it was a difficult night, you know? And I had my candle burning because I love the idea of the solstice, you know, that the sun is born anew. Good morning! So where I am right now, that means that the goddess is in labor, giving birth to the newborn son. And because we haven't seen him yet, so they're still in labor. And that means it's like, you know, the promise of rebirth in the year. But that we hold the light inside ourselves. We hold our inspiration tight. Yeah. We hold our faith in love, humanity, possibilities, change, growth, hepzibabula, whatever your faith is in, yourself, reincarnation, energy changes forms and never dies, whatever your faith is, you know, you hold it, your inspiration. And that significance of lighting a fire, or dancing around the fire for the evening, is that there is fire to ignite the newborn sun. We are holding that light for the new world. We are holding that light for the new sun. And the Hopis call each of these worlds suns. You know, I think I mentioned before that a Nakwal person here had informed me that the Hopi were actually the precursors of the Tolteca traditions and communities. And but yeah, that they say they call every world the new sun. So this going into the Satya Yuga, This is the fifth world, the sixth world. I always get that one wrong. I think it's the fifth world. And they call it, the fifth sun. So the silver cord, that beautiful, shiny, aligned spine, Kundalini serpent, yeah? The serpent of joy and passion and alignment is what we climb to the next world. Maybe I did before, but it's just interesting. Put a little note here in my brain place. Anyone else has any considerations about this? I would find it interesting. The notion of the Kundalini silver serpent, doing the alignment of the chakras, yes. And then there being some other religions that are averse to the serpent, that don't trust the serpent energy, right? So I think there's some interesting possibilities of dynamics and insights in that discussion. I might revisit that at another point. Oh, but what I love about the silver serpent, the Kundalini serpent, the Kundalini alignment, too, is it has wings. So, is it a serpent? Is it a dragon? Woo, woo. Kind of like the dragon idea. I like a lot of ideas this morning. I feel the hope in my eyes. I had so many dreams. I had such intense dreams. And I gave up some things, as I've been doing again recently, and remembering. I remembered this for a client, and then I've been remembering it for myself. Giving up, signing over. When the worries are circling in my head in the nighttime, I go, hey, larger than me, infinite, help, take this. My human aspect, we can't, this is too big for us. This is a worry that is not useful for me, and my eyes aren't big enough to see it anyway. I need my infinite eyes. And surrender. No. The promise is the change. The promise is that this is changing. And it's happening. It's happening. Oh, I love these days. I love the sweetness of these days. I love the sweetness of these moments. I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky. And making all these new choices and allowing myself to move forward, allowing myself to feel what I need to feel, to care for myself, to make myself the priority, is allowing me to do the things that I want to and need to do. And I keep paying bills. I'm so proud. So basic, but I'm so proud. I keep paying bills. I keep meeting dreams and paying bills. And I'm not crushing my goals. I'm nurturing them. They're growing flowers. I don't want to step on them. I want to lift them up. Just like the people in my life. I want to lift them up. I want them to lift me up. And then we can play an amazing game of lifting each other up and flying and growing and smelling the flowers. Yeah. So, happy solstice. God, you made it through the longest night. I love that fire within you. That fire, that belief, that spark, that inspiration, passion, that hunger for justice, that hunger for love, that overwhelming joy and love in your heart. That is what is dreaming this world. I love you and I'm with you. I want to know that you're with me because I can feel you. I like that feeling. So waxing my surfboard with knowing that the promise is always kept, of keeping the fire in my heart for the dark times, and knowing that the hearts around me and connected to me are a flame. Mwah. Lauren Rowan, Surfing Vuzuvaya.